I can tell the same thing.
Good morning, Woodley Cup Daytona. How's everybody on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Good. Johnny. All right, 1 Million Cups Daytona. Grab your seats, grab your coffee. We'll have some fun today. Got a great presentation. For those of you who are new, we do a 5 to 10 to 15 minute presentation with Jared this morning. Then we'll have an opportunity to do Q&A and all kinds of comments and ideas, suggestions, comments, whatever you want to offer. It's a friendly space, so enjoy yourself today. How many newcomers do we have today? We have first timers here, right here in front. Stand up, mention your name, and tell us what you do.
First of all, good morning, everybody. My name is Dean O'Brien, and I own a company called 06 Marketing. 06 Marketing is, initially, it was a swag mall, anything you can imagine with your logo on it. Anything you can imagine, a big mall. And inside that mall, now I'm creating stores. So the first store that I created was 06 Event Graphics. So I do event graphics for schools, colleges, universities, Embry-Riddle, so on. And event graphics is 10 by 10 tents, tablecloths, feathered flags, backdrops, all that stuff for events. But anything you can imagine, if you ask me right now what I'm working on everything from a coin for University of Pittsburgh to Southern University's annual report. So I've been in business for a while. I'm also a CPA, so that helps me to keep my book straight. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Dino. Who else is new today? First timers. That's it? Who else is first time?
Who else? I think it's the first time.
It's not my first time. It's my last one.
Oh, okay.
But I can introduce myself. My name is Stephanie Sanchez. I own Orange County Medical Center. I'm a nurse practitioner. And Carlos invited me.
Sorry about that.
I apologize.
And I really enjoyed my time last week and making connections. So
She came back.
Did you
That's
get
good.
that?
Any other? So, my name's Tom, one of the organizers here at 1 Million Cups. We have Val behind the camera here today. Charlie is over here. Sean is out, and Casey is out. Yeah, I know, I was going to get to him, I know. And Jason, who's hanging out over here, being very, very cool. So, got to thank Volusia Economic Development. They are the ones who helped pay for us to be here at this venue, which is a great venue. So we want to thank Volusia Economic Development. Riccardi is probably watching online from his office. Hey, Riccardi. Also, got to thank this great venue, Jed and his staff here at Cinematique. One of the best places a 1 Million Cups event can happen. And you'll see the schedules are on the table, so they've got great movies, some great comedy. Check it out, and then come back and patronize Cinematique. Anything else I'm missing? No? Cool. We're going to get right into it then. As I said, we're going to have a presentation on a developing business here. Have them do a presentation and come up with ideas, comments, suggestions, things like that to help them grow this business. So With no further ado, I'm going to introduce Jarrett and one chair Dev.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
All right. So, what do you think kills more startups today? Bad ideas or the inability to test them? I'd argue it's speed. And the founders that learn the fastest win. I'm co-founder of OneShare.dev, and we help businesses and founders move faster so they can and build production-ready software quicker. Speed matters now more than ever. AI is reshaping product development cycles. So your learn loops are moving much quicker. And most of today's startups fail due to lack of ideas, not lack of testing. And winners are teams that can run experiments faster and more quickly. And I don't know if you guys have heard of things called Lovable, Base 44. Their promise is, their AI tool says, build in one click. Does that sound too good to be true? It is. And the problem isn't the AI. It's how it's managed and how it's used. And that's why I built OneShare.dev. We combine our very own AI development system with senior technical oversight so so businesses can launch faster, learn sooner, and reduce experiment costs. So reducing your development cycles from months to weeks. We build full products and features in weeks, not months, as mentioned. We can test assumptions and features rapidly with continuous and fast iterations. We can accelerate your learning cycle so you can reach product market fit sooner. And we can move at market speed and adapt instantly as insight emerges. So let me show you how it works. So here's the Wellchild case study. So Wellchild was a startup that I met at Starter Studio in Orlando. And they were building alongside a production team. They hired developers. And we decided to recreate our platform. We imported her requirement documents and our UI direction for her site. We inserted these requirements into our AI system. And our output was over 116 screens, 79 APIs, 67,000 lines of code, 6 different integrations, and 3 different compliances, all within 3 hours. We added 24 hours of human review. And the founder impact was a testable, iteratable product that founders can validate and ship immediately. That was 97% faster than what her development team was shipping. Some of you may know that I presented here last year with a product called GiveUnity. That product is still going strong. And we are using this system to accelerate our learning cycles and to push production-grade software faster. So here's our case study. We have an AI reporting feature for volunteering. I insert the requirements document, and time to deploy this feature was less than an hour. I went to the market, I tested it with current founders, got feedback. We spent, after those week and a half, we spent the next week and a half cleaning up, and within a month, we deployed that feature. If I were to go get a designer and do that by the traditional development way, that would have took me over 4+ months, especially getting feedback and having to make changes. It has resulted in a 400% increase in active users on our platform. Now our next one is Wingman. So Wingman is an AI startup that we helped. He spent 5 months and over $20,000 with contractors building his front end side, which is the design. OneShare rebuilt his entire front end in 33 hours. And now he has us on supporting his ongoing retainer. The founder is using OneShare as his full development team. He's actually a Gen AI manager for IBM, and he's actually passing the generative AI to us. And now he's working completely on working with customers. Customers are now starting to adapt his product, and he has, of course, shifted full-time to his customers. So how does this work? So we can, from idea to launch in within 2 to 4 weeks. You complete a requirements document, a simple 15-question form, no technical knowledge needed. You can see an initial version before you build. So before you even commit $1, we'll have an initial version of your platform or whatever feature that you want. And then we collaborate. We have a production grade testing environment. We update every single day. So you can go and check on and see your progress, give us feedback, and make changes wherever you think is needed. And you can launch and start generating revenue in 2 to 4 weeks. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what AI has enabled. Our competitive comparisons. So not only do we have the same speed to launch as the no-code or vibe coding tools, but we provide, we have production-ready code, scalable architecture, and when I say scalable architecture, I mean you can have over 1 million users on it. It's not, when you usually use AI codes tools today, they're for demos. They're not for production-ready software. You're not giving that to customers. We have no technical oversight, and of course short time to revenue, and a guarantee to client. We do all of our stuff based off of outcomes. So every time you pay to us, it's not about, for a product, it's not about paying as like hours. It's about outcomes, because our speed enables us to do that. So why us? We have the 97% reduction time in development. We can obviously test multiple products, variations weekly. We have production-ready code with modern design, and we have strong technical teams. So the people, my team is overviewing it, my co-founder, there's no low-quality developers. Everyone is a former team lead, and we'll get to his background here shortly. So our pricing, you can build your MVP affordable. Our basic MVP build is $7,900, and that timeline is 1 to 2 weeks. Our most recent project, we had it ready to be tested and used within a week. Platform builds, $16,000, and then an advanced build, which would have heavy AI, CRMs, these types of things, that's $25,000 plus, and that's a custom quote. We could also be plugged into any development process. On GiveUnity, we had a platform built. It integrated with our backend and started building on top of it quickly. We have a retainer where we handle all your on-call server management. We'll host the platform for you. We have part of your team, which you'll have 1 meaningful feature a month. And when I say meaningful, we mean something big, like the AI reporting. 10 updates and fixes, and 4 deployment calls, this was a monthly strategy call. And then full team is $8,000 a month, and that's 10 deployments a month, 3 new features, and along with a Q&A engineer and weekly strategy calls. Now the team. As some of you may know, I am an experienced founder with GiveUnity, and I've been working on that for the last 1.5 years. And with Anton, he's my co-founder, and he's a tech lead with nearly 20 years of experience building scalable production-ready software. And has led up teams up to 25 people, and has delivered projects for Global 1,000 companies. So what real entrepreneurs say? So Michelle was Wellchild. She already invested a bunch of money into her development, so she didn't want to switch over because of just some cost. But she thought that it would have taken weeks seeing her platform iterate, because she was in the process of changing her platform and understanding what it would look like. It would have taken her weeks if she would have seen it earlier. Arjun, who's an AI product manager for IBM, said he spent months working on the front end and with developers, and he was not happy. He is now fully, we have already generated a better UI UX, and is now implemented. So any questions, and thank you for listening to this presentation.
I'm working on it. I'm getting there. Should have this in my hand already. Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. So every morning when we meet before here, we've been talking about AI recently. It just seems to be a conversation. I understand that, there's that old saying of an iceberg, you only see 10% and the other 90% is below. But I don't think we're even there yet with AI. I think we're seeing a fraction of a percentage. So I'm kind of going to go off base a little bit with this question. Being that you're so heavily involved in this AI world, where do you see AI now versus 5 years from
Yeah, so I obviously am probably a little bit more bullish than the average person. If you're talking about general AI, what we're working on, my co-founder hasn't written a single line of code in 5 months. It's all just talking to his AI. And that is completely new, and that's something that we've worked on. And I do worry for skill-based positions, I'm gonna be honest, so CPAs, financial, I think there's gonna be some adaptation time, but within the next 5 to 10 years, it's moving so rapidly that, I mean, I don't know if you guys seen Claude Code now has extensions where you can literally write emails for you. It literally interface and type an email inside your box and send it if you want. Now, I think the winners, and who will be the winners in the next 5 years, is the people who can apply it to their practice the best. So the people that are able to create products to apply it, like expert knowledges, so people who have a very niche knowledge about certain sectors that maybe Google's not focusing on, or Anthropic. I think that's would be who are really going to be the next startup founders or wave of founders, is who's able to train and learn these AIs and orchestrate them to apply to different sectors across the spectrum.
Hey Jared, great presentation, Tom again. So, you know, the reason we're all here today is for entrepreneurial information, helpful comments. So what are your challenges? What are the things you're facing? What are the numbers?
Yeah.
You mentioned you had a couple of clients you presented here.
Mm-hmm.
How many clients do you have? What kind of run rate do you have? Give us some
we've-
details.
We've currently worked on about 6 different projects, and over our first 2 months, we're up to $18,000 in revenue, which is not too bad to start. But it was been mostly local networks. Like that was mostly us spending time to. I haven't done any marketing spend at all. So right now we're looking for setting up a go-to-market strategy and being able to start with the community, get more and more testimonials about what we're doing, and start spreading the word, because this moves fast and we need to keep iterating and testing. Our goal with this is not only to be a service, but to actually move to a product where your development teams can actually use the systems that we're using to help push out code faster and work within teams.
Congrats on your platform, congrats on your development studio.
Yeah,
It looks like you all do good work building different platforms and websites and technologies for people. So you mentioned within your presentation that you're 97% faster than coders or people who would create these apps and websites in traditional ways.
Correct.
I wanted to ask you, I agree with that, AI is very, very good at speeding up a lot of the development process. It makes it a lot more streamlined. I wanted to ask you, what differentiates you from other AI developers in your space? What is your
Like are you
sauce?
talking about
So you
maybe
have
give me an example if you.
Yeah, so you have an AI studio that helps different people build their websites and their AI platforms, their own Facebook, if you will. and
Like
that sort of-
Lovable or something like that, or are you talking more about like interface code, like not Google has Cursor and these things? So you're right.
I'm not quite sure.
Like, okay, sorry. Maybe you can explain a little bit more. My
Yeah.
apologies.
So y'all build different apps and technologies for people using AI, and it is much faster than doing it traditionally. How would you compare yourselves to another 3-man team that also uses AI to build software for people?
Yeah. So this is our own AI orchestrated system. So everyone uses AI to develop. Okay, so like let's make me be very clear. So somebody builds an AI system to help them write the code. We're not doing any writing at all. So we're orchestrating the system in some type of in a way that helps us and structured so that we can feed the AI. It took us months and months of training before we even went to actual production grade and to get to that point. And so for the last couple months, that's we've been, or probably since September or August of last year, that's when we started training the AI.
So you have a streamlined end-to-end process.
Correct.
So
It's-
that
it
when you
follows
send
this-
it into the AI, it will basically spit out the whole entire app instead of requiring the 40 to 50 manual labor steps along the way.
Exactly.
Step and servers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
That's
all about
your-
orchestration. So when I say AI orchestration, it's about learning and teaching the AI and keeping them within parameters. That's a really difficult part. So when you type a single prompt in here, like I showed you into Lovable or Base 44 or anything like that, it'll try to be creative as possible, and it won't follow right steps. So you're spending tons of credit and time trying to fix it. And these things build for like trying to show pretty first before they don't really even build a back end. It's about making sure it follows guidelines and steps in the correct development processes. The only reason that this works well is because I have my co-founder has over 20 years of experience building scalable architecture. If he didn't have that experience, then it wouldn't work.
Hey Jared, Valerie here. Congratulations on your second 1&2 presentation. We met you last year when you presented Givunity. That is also an app that will track donation, which is so cool. Can you tell us more about how you pivoted and how this is a natural extension from that Givunity app?
Yeah.
And then explain it to non-tech entrepreneurs, like most of the people that we have. Just in a kind of like oversimplistic way, if you must,
Yeah.
and kind of dig into how you were pivoting from that business, because I'm curious on that.
Side,
Yeah, on that side. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I love that you brought up all the products and features, but 1MC is also all about like hearing your background, your story,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
all the good and bad that comes with it.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so funny story, when I first started Givunity, I lost over $16,000 with bad developers. And not only was the negative activity of just losing that amount of resources, but also the time. It was over 3 months of my time. That's time I could have been testing with users, could have been actually building the product. It would have been 3 months quicker to launch. So the reason that this is an extension is that I'm using this system to help build out Givunity as well. So I got to a point just over in the last 2 months of us 3 months developing on Givunity. I'm not getting nonprofits asking for features anymore. They're asking me, wow, everything's great. That was huge for us to find product market fit, and as you can see, that was 400% increase in active users. So even dormant accounts are coming back onto Givunity because of the things that we are implementing and how fast. Because they literally can ask for a feature, and within 2-3 weeks, it'll be on the production, and it's just unmatched. I can't stress you enough on how difficult. Maybe a year ago, if I would have built it, I had to get a designer. I had to go through that design process, talk to them about how it's planned. This knows my system, my whole entire software end to end. I even suggested features, and it'll say, "Oh, that doesn't make sense in your platform." It'll literally tell me that it's not a good feature based off of what I was doing. So it has absolutely helped me increase product market fit and has scaled my other business as well.
And I would lead with that, most especially when you're trying to tell the story of OneShareDev, because it is so relatable to entrepreneurs. You can start with like, hey, this product that I'm about to show you came from a problem that I was trying to solve. And when you lead with that story, you draw people in, and you're definitely trying to help better communicate on how your product is gonna be successful in the market. So yeah, I definitely want to hear more about this, but I'm gonna move other people.
Thanks, Jason. Great presentation, also super relatable. Definitely gonna take some time with you after this.
Oh, awesome.
So, first question is, you mentioned go-to-market. Do you notice it's easier to take existing solutions and create something from them, or just start from the ground up, and will that influence your go-to-market strategy?
So I will say the businesses that we are working with, for our system, it learns quicker on building new solutions, but because it'll kind of do better structure, if you would say, because usually your developer doesn't always have the best. But I have taken many, like Give Unity, for example. It just needs to, we just need a developer to oversee that connection, because they need to the AI needs to understand the code and how it's structured. And then once that's done, then you can add whatever. It takes less than an hour for us to integrate with an existing system.
Got it. And then is there going to be a cost difference between those two solutions?
Yeah, usually, it's usually our current existing solutions, like, we usually would do either the part of your team or full dev team. For example, the AI startup that we replaced a full front end, they moved from this tier to now they're moving to this tier. Because even him as he says it's an ego kill because he's an AI, he's a Gen AI manager at IBM, and he has now trusted us with his whole entire AI generation and code that he has done. So that's kind of the natural progression of like how we would typically work with teams. He fired all his other developers. So I mean it is what it is. I don't feel great about saying that, but you know it's where the future's heading, and it's kind of on where development's getting. Because I'll say this, for all your non-technical founders, it's going to get, the cost of actual development is going to go lower and lower and lower and lower. It's, we'll have like, everyone will be an entrepreneur, if you would say. Like, if you have an idea, you'll be able to test it. And it'll be great for a lot of niche products and things that maybe don't have the resources or time to actually build that. So, yeah, absolutely.
Great, and parting question. So I understand that even if you have a very competent development team, the development side isn't really the challenge. It's the continuous iteration of improvements out into the future to compete in the market. So what is your strategy to stay ahead of it?
Yeah, so we're talking more about the non-technical founders of the group, but it's always talking to customers. I spend, so for Give Unity, for example, I spend at least once a week, if not once every 2 weeks, I'll make sure that I email every one of them personally and say, what can I do to improve this? What's going wrong? What it's not working? Because they won't tell you. They're too, usually they will not go out of their way to tell you. So getting that constant feedback from users is what separates. While you still have to have that human in the loop, if you would say, and our AI even suggests features to you, which they're usually pretty close, but sometimes they don't know the niche stuff and things that some of your users may want. It's all about talking to customers, and that will never be gone. I will say that this is something that AI can't replace, so at least that's good. So yeah.
Hey
Jason, hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, your presentation was great, and you definitely see it fit with what I'm working on, although there's, you know, I'll give you a little bit of background. My business is Contractor Connects, which is a lead generation platform that looks at find projects with construction contractors. And I thought it would be a good idea to go with the AI, like an AI route with it, as far as estimating quotes and just use AI as much as possible. But what happened was, as I was promoting the project, I was putting all money into development from overseas, which was
The same. That's my $60,000 down the hole was the same thing.
So
I feel you.
Cash flow. And we had a business coach advise us that a good enhancement to your business would be to do podcasting, which I started to do in a studio for about 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe a better idea to go on location and do what I call hybrid network with video, and do like networking like we're doing here, only capture the conversations and relationship building on video. And I've started some traction with that actually. I've had a couple of successful events. So since I kind of like ran out of cash on the platform side, I'm trying to make some money with the network with video. But I would love to really, you know, get back on track with the development of the platform. I'm actually working with development now, a local developer, but I had to pause development because of the cash situation. And I'm just wondering, like, if I had to resume development, if it would be the way to go.
Yeah, we can, any code base we can work on. It doesn't matter, and that's the kind of the crazy thing about AI is that it can analyze our whole code base very quickly. It'll just ask some questions about certain confusion if it's really, it really depends on how it's written. But that's why we have the senior technical oversight. You need that senior technical oversight. It doesn't, if you were a non-technical person trying to do the same thing, forget about it.
One of the things that people like about the video is it's very human and people are saying, with all the AI out there, this live video, this recorded video is really something that, looks good for them because it's real, and my thought was if I were to do a platform, I would have that live video, or that recorded video profiles of the contractors that I'm promoting on video in the platform. Is that going to be integrated with what you're doing?
Oh yeah, we can pretty much do anything you can imagine. I say that wholeheartedly because we've done a quite range of platforms, right? So HIPAA
Video
compliant.
is very important,
Yeah, absolutely.
Not AI. I mean, I know that AI is a big part of what you're doing,
Yeah,
but
yeah. No, we can do whatever a client needs. It's we're not you have to do this way. That's we're very flexible in that.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yep.
Hi. I'm not sure if this is a question as much as just an old man complaining about technology. But, I have a luau dinner, I do dinner shows,
Awesome.
and it's not technology based, but I have a love-hate relationship with AI. And we have companies that resell our tickets, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you jump online, you might buy it on Groupon or Expedia.
Yeah.
And what's happening increasingly lately is they have to populate our account, right? Like where to go, how much it costs. And they used to be all manual, but now it's all AI, right? Like they search it. And the problem with that is I've got all kinds of stuff online. Like we used to be at a different location here in Daytona. We used to be at the Hawaiian Inn.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is every so often, Expedia will start telling people to go to the Hawaiian Inn. After a year, and
Yeah.
I don't know why. And that's not as big a problem as 8 minutes away, but in Orlando, we moved an hour away. And so people just miss out on the whole vacations. And like, specifically with Groupon, there was a time when they were sending people to the wrong location, and they knew it, I knew it. And they grabbed some company that had a similarly named company, but it was actually bought out of somebody's house in a gated community. And they were sending people to this house. People were going to somebody's house in a gated community looking for a luau dinner. And it was problematic. And they couldn't change it. For some reason, Groupon.
It's probably a third party that did their AI. That's probably why. I'm going to be honest. So that's typically why that's the issue.
For months it went on, and finally I had to get them to take off the address because somebody could not type in the address correctly. So is that a problem in that, I know it's easy to say, oh yeah, we have a human look at it, but if you get too much in AI, and AI does this much and humans do this much, is there a point where humans aren't going to be able to fix?
Yeah, my guess on that would be that so sometimes when they blindly trust AI, you hear AI. You'll get a lot of companies that aren't quite up to, I don't want to say, they'll say they'll do something and it doesn't always execute on what they say they're doing.
$1 billion company.
Yeah,
so
I
they
mean,
give an address.
it
I
happens.
streamed with them on the phone, I don't want
Yep.
to start streaming here, but, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah. And it's all about like orchestrating and training that AI. So if that can't be changed, first of all, that's an issue with whoever developed their AI in the first place. That should be able to be adjusted because they're all interfacing with each other. They should be able to interface with each other. So that's more of an internal problem on how they set it up incorrectly. So I would say, and I'm sure it's the chatbot. I'm sure that's what's doing it. They need to be able to have that more flexible. That's on them. And
Yeah, it still does it to this day. As a matter of fact, because the AI, we go back old school and have to call all the customers. I have several people that spend a day calling customers, emailing them to make sure they go to the right place. Because
Yes.
Yeah, so just make sure that you don't let the computers take over.
No.
That's the point.
There's a couple-
Yeah, I think there's a couple movies about that, yeah.
Silence.
Hi, I have a couple of questions. One is the LLM you're using, your proprietary LLM, or is it one of the existing LLMs?
Yeah, so we're LLM agnostic. So what we're doing is providing, we have a system that puts guardrails and trains the AI when you feeds it through. So when you send it to a request, it hits all these bumps, if you would say, and guidance in our system. So that's LLMs like, no, I'm not Anthropic or ChatGPT. I need like billions and billions of dollars to do that. It's about taking what they've built and training it on its existing process and established processes to guide it and make sure it develops consistently.
And my second question was regarding guardrails. You know, it's not hard to find right now reports of somebody giving their agent permission to go invest X number of dollars in crypto. Well, the agent decided to get creative and it donated all of his crypto to a person who cashed it in, and it was more like 54 million. So somebody...
Guys having a good day.
Yeah. So where do you see policy and governance going with AI? Because right now it really doesn't exist.
I would like to, have some confidence in our governmental systems, but they move quite slowly on this stuff, typically. They're usually, they're not as technology forward as we'd like them to be. But yes, I think there's some issues, especially, I can go down a conspiracy theorist like hole, but they have these data centers and they're using all this data and they're collecting in one place, pretty much being able to eventually, like, not just artificial intelligence, but like robots and things that would act like humans. But that's probably, hopefully 10 years down the line. But that's what they're doing. So everything that you put in from ChatGPT to Claude, they all go to these data centers, and these data centers, they have all this information about one of your, how you're feeling today, or, because ChatGPT, for example, is the #1 use is being a therapist, pretty much. And so it's, and I don't think they care too much about like learning skills. It's more about how can we understand human consciousness and these types of things. But that's, that's a little bit scary. But I do have a feeling of that's what they're mostly doing with your data.
Yes.
There's a way to turn that off, by the way, guys. So make sure that you do turn that off. There's online videos to help you on that.
Well, hi, this is Heath, Fractional Unit Marketing. Thanks for the presentation. I looked at the website, it's very, very cool. So I'm going to go a little bit left field. I have a question that would really help me. Like most people under the age of 100, I'm using ChatGPT now, and it's very task-oriented, and I'm really starting to see it's got power within usage in my business. But you're talking about this product that you're doing to help ostensibly founders and companies that want to scale. And this is my question. When startups and entrepreneurs found a business, it's normally a visionary, maybe a couple of founders, and you have the genesis of what may become a C-suite if you guys will grow together. And so the question I want to ask you is that, AI is wonderful in my personal experience, but every time I hear someone like you talking about it, it sounds like I'm listening to Chinese. I don't understand it, and it's moving very, very fast, and it's getting very, very powerful. So as an entrepreneur setting up a business, what should I be looking at in my founding network and my C-suite? Is there going to be a chief AI officer? What does that entail? If I'm going to use and deploy your system, who do I need to look for to set my company up with who can actually act as a translator between me and what you're building?
Yeah, so typically you'd still want a CTO to be overseeing that, and whoever your chief technology officer is, which if you're doing a software company, you should have a CTO of some sort, or at least somebody that is responsible for every line of, or like the code, or overseeing the code. Now we can go into businesses, but obviously when you grow to that scale, you still want somebody internally. With AI and understanding that, I would implore you to also take time yourself. I know it's like sometimes a foreign language, if you would say. And I'm not even the most, I haven't become the most AI forward person until like the last 6 months. I'm gonna be honest. So all this stuff has been stuff I've learned and more understanding deeply, and now I'm using it to help create strategies, help me to approach businesses, to understand problems. These types of things, I use it pretty much now every strategic decision I make, I run through Opus, which is Claude. I actually ask it for feedback and what its thoughts. So it's kind of gives me a sounding board of what's its thoughts.
Yeah, okay, just a quick follow-up question. So I'm old enough now that I was in the workforce when we moved from an analog to a digital world. And so we're now moving from a digital to almost like to an AI world.
Yeah.
So a CTO that is, wouldn't necessarily always have the right skill set to be an AI person. What would you advise me as a founder and an entrepreneur that I would need to ask somebody or test somebody? Because if I'm the visionary, yes, I can learn it, but I can never learn it enough really to understand what they need to know. What should I be asking them before I, bring them into my team as a person that would understand and interface with AI?
Okay, yeah, so things I would ask them, if, this is probably a deeper question than I probably have the time for. But what I would start thinking about asking them and how I would approach them, one, I'd understand, have they downloaded internal models? So have they actually went into AI and downloaded onto their computer and actually looked at how it's constructed? Because there's ways to do that on your, to run it privately, almost on your own servers and databases. Have they done any training with AI? Have they done any orchestration with AI? These types of questions, if they're not able to answer yes, they're probably not your AI person. And to understand, if they say yes, they looked at orchestration, they need to explain to you what they orchestrated. And when I say orchestration, meaning how did they train an AI model to do a specific task? So they should be able to show you that they've done some, at least in some instances, especially if you're a chief technology officer, they need to be able to show you, oh, I've used this AI and I trained it to do this specific task, and they should even be able to show you what we have. We have documents, obviously, and on orchestration and the guardrails. These are separate things that they create. They should be able to show you that. So those are the type of things you should look for, especially if you want somebody who knows AI. If they're not interested enough to start training with it and not just playing around with it on their generic interface like you do ChatGPT, for example, but actually trying to train it on certain things and making their own GPTs and making their own products almost within ChatGPT or Claude or whatever.
Okay, so this kind of follow-up to his, and as well as everybody else. We're all new to AI, everybody's kind of trying to understand it. What certifications are there for you as a developer, for AI that you develop security-wise, as well as for him, for someone he's going to hire? Are there any certifications in this, or is it still Wild West and everybody just does whatever they want?
The latter is correct. You would be correct. There's no standard right now. It's moving so fast, right? So Claude just dropped their new models. They just dropped a widget inside your Chrome desktop, and so these things are moving so fast. I mean, ChatGPT 4.0 only came out 9 months ago.
Yep.
They just cannibalized it. They just
Codex.
Yeah, Codex, yeah. I mean, they just killed it. In 9 months, it was not relevant anymore. It's moving so fast. We're in such a large, high growth cycle. Of course, it'll eventually flatten out. And when they're learning new models, it won't learn that much. But they have a long way to go for that. I mean, again, I think 3 to 5 years, I would say, is actually a pretty good timeline for that.
Charlie.
So invariably, whenever somebody's talking about AI, we get a bunch of people that say AI is going to take my job. So So I presume that when you got started, you had coders, software developers, and they probably built a lot of what you are currently using. But after the AI got to a point where it was beginning to take on a role of its own, how did those software developers and coders' jobs change?
So some, obviously, like I mentioned, we did replace a whole development team on one project. For my own, I did keep one, because he understood the system like completely, and he built it from the ground up. But what that's doing is, again, exponentially past his skill set. The goal is to, because we're working on a product version of this, the goal is for us to potentially give him the product and see how he uses it. But realistically speaking, I probably within 4 months, when there's not more designs for him to develop on, I don't need it, because everything's designed by the AI. I don't need a front-end designer anymore, or a UI UX designer. Yeah.
I'm kind of gonna piggyback on your comment, and I got one last question for you, because we gotta wrap this up. It's funny, you mentioned professions that might be in jeopardy because of this, and you named the profession I'm in, which I found was interesting. I am so excited for AI to enter my life because it makes my job so much easier. Right? So, for you all that don't know, I'm a financial advisor. What AI has allowed me to do is spend more time serving my clients and less time trying to analyze what's going on. Right? I took over a 401k recently. It had 70 pages of funds to choose from. The client asked me to identify the top 5 funds in each class. Historically, that would take me days to do. I'd have to look up every individual fund, look at how they're built, look at how they're managed. Instead, I took the PDF, uploaded it in my AI, gave it some parameters what I was looking for. Within 5 minutes, I had a beautiful, gorgeous spreadsheet with everything I needed. So, in the finance world, I can see it taking over the analyst positions, but I don't see it taking over my position. But I love AI. So, to conclude, because we're running out of time, what are your challenges? Like, where are your roadblocks right now, and how can 1MC and Daytona as a community help you move forward?
Yeah. So right now we're just go to market and making sure that we're connecting with our community, kind of showing what we've been working on and developed. And then secondly, we're going to be in the next few months, or probably in a month and a half, we're releasing the alpha version of our product version of this. So we'd love any developers that you guys know to want to test out this product, because we're kind of helping use this to help fund the product as well, and well, not much fund the product, but once we do marketing for that, to help fund that marketing and growth. She had a question, by the way. I don't know if she's been raising her hand for a while.
Terry does? All right, Terry, we can get one last question in.
I'll be free.
Be quick.
Thank you. Terry Kane Tyler with TCT Advantage. A lot of your presentation was way over my head because I'm even older school than the gentleman in the back of the room. I mean, I used a Commodore 64 to do competition.
What is that?
I actually know what that is.
But anyway, one thing you really hit on that resonated with me was the fact that the person you're in business with was able to use AI to interface with his customers, and he has no contact with them. A platform that I'm using right now, I've not gotten to that point, but another independent associate, Legal Shield, has set up his AI that for over a year now, people wanting Legal Shield products interact with his avatar and his AI, and he's never even met these people, and he's signing up people left and right.
Yeah, it's just
So
an
I
AI
see it
chatbot.
really
Yeah,
as a
absolutely.
good tool, not just for this businesses like yours, but for some of these multi-level marketing companies.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's the people that price set right there is way too high. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's give this guy a hand. I think